All right, guys, we're live. Good morning. Good morning, good morning. And we also have some background music. I've managed to put up together something yesterday. If you guys feel like the background music is too loud, just let me know in the chat, okay? And I'll try to minimize the volume just a bit. All right, so today it's Tuesday, right? Today's Tuesday, you guys. There hasn't been... Hello from Nigeria. Hello. Okay, perfect. So the volume of the music is just fine. I'm presuming that you guys can also hear me just fine. So for everyone who is for the first time here on my live stream, thank you for being here. Just to say a few words about myself, my name is Alex. I am a full-time gold trader, and I am based in Bucharest, which is the capital of Romania. And I trade gold. That's what I do for a living. And I've just recently started doing these live streams because I really think that it's a good way for me to become a little more conscious and a bit more disciplined about my daily schedule, okay? Because I was starting to be a little bit off track with the things that I was doing during the day, and obviously this was also starting to show up in my trading activity, in the idea that I wasn't as consistent with the time of with the hour of my chart time during the day. So I really believe that doing these live streams is going to keep me a little bit more disciplined, or is at least going to force me to, be more disciplined. And besides this, I also think that it's a good opportunity for me to connect with you guys so that we can actually learn things from each other. And yeah, you already know, if you have any questions, the chat is there for you to ask questions, okay? Now, someone's saying that there is no actual background music. So you're saying that you cannot hear the music? Are you guys sure? That there is no actual background music. So you're saying that you cannot hear the music? Are you guys sure? That there is no actual background music. Something happened with the music that I had here. But no, it's really weird, because it actually does show up on my end. I don't know exactly what happened. Okay, can you guys confirm that there is no music right there? No music. Oh my God. So at the beginning of the stream, we did have music, and right now we don't have any music. I wonder what the heck happened with it, because it is showing here in my OBS. It is showing that it's playing, Just kind of weird. It is showing that yeah, I don't know exactly what happened and why. I'd really love to know. Anyway, so let's dive into today's chart. So because yesterday there was no live stream, when you made the volume up, the music was there. Yeah, I know the music was there, and I turned up the volume, maybe like so. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, you guys. There seems to be no music on my end either. Oh no, wait, there's actually music. Okay, so we should have music. Okay, perfect. Now you guys can hear the music. Okay, so it was a problem with the volume. So I hope that my voice is a little a little louder than the background music because you know the music should be in the background. Okay, you guys, so yesterday there was no live stream, but it doesn't mean that there hasn't been a setup that I that I didn't take. There actually was a setup that I did take, and I am going to walk you through the trade that I took yesterday. So we had over here, it was taken on the New York kill zone, okay? And it was taken shortly after 10 a.m. New York time. So the way in which I took this trade and the reasoning for taking this trade, first of all, I've noticed that we had this bearish fair value gap that was created in here, and then price seems to reject off of it, and then it actually went down, but it didn't quite get all the way down to these relatively equal lows. As a matter of fact, it created a higher low as opposed to silver over here, which silver did create a lower low. So the first thing was that we had an SMT divergence. Okay, after this, price shoot up. Okay, and it formed all this bullishness over here with a lot of bullish fair value gaps, and I just didn't have any chance to enter right in a trade. And then New York, at the beginning of the New York kill zone, we can see price dropping like crazy, and then all of a sudden all that momentum to the downside starts to fade away, and we enter into this crazy consolidation over here. And mind you, this is the 15 minutes chart. Right now I noticed that we're trading inside this previously bearish fair value gap, which has now been turned into a bullish inversion fair value gap. So at that point, I went down to the 15 minutes chart, to the 5 minutes chart, and you guys can see all of this consolidation that happened here on the 5 minutes inside the 15-minute inversion fair value gap. We had a new SMT divergence again, okay, where gold is significantly showing signs of strength in the idea that it's trying to push lower from this bearish fair value gap, but it just couldn't from this one, right? But it just couldn't. So at that point, a lot of you asked me during the previous live streams if I take into consideration to trade the pair, to buy the pair that shows more strength, or to sell the pair that shows more weakness. And at that time, I said that I don't usually look for that, and I honestly don't. But then at the moment of me seeing price struggling to reject from that fair value gap, then going above it again, then trying to reject again and again and again and again, it actually stroked me. It actually, like I heard myself reading one of your messages from the chat from the previous streams, if I ever consider buying the pair that shows more signs of strength, right? And then I said, okay, so price being unable to break lower after rebalancing this bearish fair value gap, it's basically, this is what it actually is. It's a sign of strength. The lack of sign of weakness, it's basically the presence of signs of strength, right? So at that point, I thought, okay, so maybe we could actually just wait for price to create a bullish fair value gap on the 5 minutes and then see if we can actually rebalance that and get an entry confirmation, which is exactly what happened. So we had this bullish fair value gap being created at 10 a.m. and then the 10 candle on New York on the 5 minutes actually went down, rebalanced that fair value gap, and then it actually went higher and closed as a bullish candle. So this is a trade that I took yesterday, and yeah, like no actual runner, but you can see the crazy potential that existed in here. Anyway, so enough with yesterday's trade, okay, because it doesn't help us with anything to know what trade I took yesterday. Okay, so for today, what I'm actually seeing, and I'm sorry that I've noticed this setup happening a bit too late. I mean, not a bit too late in the idea that I definitely did not take it. Okay, where we had this bullish SMT divergence in here. Okay, gold stopping into this bullish fair value gap that was created over here. So we have a higher high being created, and at the same time, silver went down and created a lower low. Okay, so we had a higher low on gold, which is right here, and then rejection candle from that fair value gap, which was the 305 M5 candle, New York time 305. And then at the same time, we can see that here on silver, the 305 candle actually continued to reject from after having taken sell side liquidity under this minor swing low over here. So you have the presence of the SMT divergence, and then we have no, actually we had the fair value gap first on gold, okay, because the fair value gap formed at 245, and then price actually came down into the fair value gap, and at 305 it rejected, thus creating the SMT divergence, which indicates bullish continuation on the side of gold, okay, and silver going down, taking minor sell side, indicates to us that this market is oversold. In other words, it's cheap, okay? So when things are cheap, that's when you want to buy, right? I didn't take that trade, but right now it is a good level for me to mark liquidity areas. I'm not saying that price is going to come down to these areas today or tomorrow or anything like that, but it's just the way in which I mark liquidity areas, okay? It's just mainly like daily highs, daily lows, weekly highs, weekly lows, session highs, session lows, and SMT divergences, okay? Where I see that I had SMT divergences, that's where I will mark my liquidity areas, right? Now, apart from that, which was that trade that occurred, that setup that occurred based on our rules during the London session, we also had another SMT divergence around this area, sort of like that, okay, where again gold is showing signs of strength and silver is showing that we are in an oversold market, right? So again, oversold in the idea that we're using silver as our indicator, that would basically mean that oversold means it's cheap, okay? So again, we have areas of sell side liquidity over there, like so. Okay, someone says 555 gave a bullish reversal SMT on 5-minute time frame verified at 640. 555. 555. And then 640. Yeah, exactly. That's absolutely correct. And this was actually the fair value gap that gold rejected off of. Okay. And it was charming. Absolutely charming. Now, I would not have entered during this candle, or once that candle closed, the 640 candle, okay? Because if I would have done that, just think about it. Like, if you want to take this trade, you can't really do it because at the time, you didn't have an SMT divergence. I mean, yeah, you might have said that you did have one. No, actually, just ignore me. Yeah, because on silver, definitely, the 640 candle also went lower than here. And even if it wouldn't have gotten lower, it would have at least been equal lows. So yeah, you're right. It was a trade. Perfect. Okay, so so I have all of this set in here. Okay. It started raining outside. All right, so if we move on to the 1 hour chart, we're gonna see that things have been really, really crazy last couple of weeks. And right now, like who would have thought, gold is at $33,036 per troy ounce. That's actually huge, right? And it really doesn't show, so far, it really doesn't show any signs of, you know, wanting to come lower. At one point, I don't know if you guys remember, but I was telling you about the seasonal tendency thing on the daily chart, where actually take the currently formed range on the daily chart starting from the beginning of the year, and then you start to try to identify where price might actually be heading towards, right? And at the time, if we were to consider right here that this is a weekly chart, by the way, okay? We had expansion move to the upside and then a pullback to equilibrium, to a non-existent equilibrium, but to a predefined equilibrium level, right? And then right now we might be thinking that price is just heading towards where it might actually just mean that from the low over there, if we extend the fib to the upside, making sure that the 50% level of the fib is gonna is gonna be plotted right where this pullback came into, which is this one over here, okay? Then it means that we would be expecting gold to reach around 3050, 3051, something like that, okay? And yeah, that's actually pretty plausible to see gold continuing to go higher. At the same time, I'm thinking, let me see here, if we had any high impact news, or if we're due to have any high impact news, because I'm not really sure. Oh my god, sorry. Because I'm not really sure. So the economic calendar says that, yeah, no news today. So no high impact news today. And tomorrow we're gonna have CPI on the euro at I think it's gonna be 6 a.m. New York time. Okay, and then we're gonna have FOMC economic projection for tomorrow. You guys, so for now, there's gonna be no high impact news for today, so we might actually just see price moving just out of inertia, you know. All right. Okay, someone told me that I did good to, to bring some background music in the stream. All right, so let's see. How exactly would I consider taking a trade? So how would I consider taking a long? How would I consider taking a short? I would consider taking a short if I would see gold creating a higher high, whereas silver would not create a higher high, silver would create a lower high. And then once gold would create a higher high, okay, and silver would create a lower high, then I would start seeing gold creating a bearish fair value gap, and then I want to see that fair value gap being rebalanced and then a rejection candle off of it. This is the only way in which I would take a short. All right. The other way in which I would take a short would be, for example, to see right now, without even creating higher highs, lower highs, whatever, okay? If I would just see gold creating like massive drop right now out of thin air, okay, with at least one bearish fair value gap, preferably in the premium area of that drop. And then as gold would go up into that bearish fair value gap and start to show signs of rejection, silver would actually go higher, all right? So this push to the upside here that would make gold stop inside the bearish fair value gap would be forming at the same time with silver going higher, and then silver showing signs of rejection at the same time with gold showing signs of rejection from a bearish fair value gap. These are the two ways in which I would consider shorting, okay? The ways in which I would consider to go long would be, I would wait for silver to create a lower low, which I'm not really considering that it kind of like did in here, unless I put it at that low. All right, so let's just draw here. And then we'd be having gold stopping over here, okay? Now, the reason why I wouldn't really be happy with this trade is because I'm buying in a super premium, okay? I'm buying at all-time highs, like at the latest high that was created. So I wouldn't really be happy with doing this, because as opposed to the trade, for example, that occurred in here, right, where we could have had this high as a target and as a potential buy side liquidity that might actually be broken and then used to bear, to take price higher and continuing going higher. I cannot say the same thing in here. So yes, we did have gold, here stopping inside this bullish fair value gap, and at the same time with gold stopping inside that bullish fair value gap, silver did all this push to the downside. Okay, so think about it like this: time and price theory. Okay, so silver started dropping at 9 a.m. okay, and it did that like 9 a.m. and then 9:05, and then eventually it started to show signs of rejection at 9:10. okay, so conversely on gold, this is a 9 candle, 9 a.m., 9:05, and 9:10. So these three candles over here, which are just accumulating, if you want, or they just can't go any further downside lower than this fair value gap in here, that thing occurred at the same time with silver going down and sweeping sell side liquidity over here. Okay, so we do have gold finding support into a bullish fair value gap, whereas silver went lower, took sell side, minor sell side, and then showing signs of rejection, which would basically be an indication to us that that the sell side liquidity that silver just took underneath here, it's actually being used to pair it with smart money long orders. But like I said, the reason why I'm not really happy with taking a trade here on gold is because my trade would look like this. All right. And if I want to target 2R, like I can definitely do that. Okay, I can target 2R. But now think about it. Why would I buy when there is no target higher? There's no reason, there's no magnet for price to to make sense to find support here in premium. I'm not saying that price will not continue to go up from here. Of course it can do that. I'm just saying that I wouldn't feel at ease with taking such a trade without first waiting for some sort of deeper pullback, maybe even a liquidity sweep. Okay, maybe even a liquidity sweep. And then starting to form my setup, right? So yeah, for now I'm just waiting. I'm just gonna remove this. I'm just waiting and I'm just observing, and that's all that I'm doing. All right, I can see that silver, it's, rejecting, respecting this thing over here. And if I'll go to a higher time frame with silver, you'll see that it just, took out this all high over here, which was buy side liquidity. And, silver took this, like, it only took that like 8 hours ago, right? Because right now it's, yeah, so it only took that like 7 or 8 hours ago. Whereas this high over here, right, this one, which is the same as this one on silver. So silver took it like 8 hours ago, whereas gold took it like yesterday, okay? So something's off here. Anyway, like I said, I'm just gonna stick to the plan. And for now, I'm just not gonna do anything unless I'm gonna feel confident to take any trade. Okay, you guys are giving me a lot of compliments for my hair. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's actually, I had this haircut for like a month or so, but I just wore my bangs like this, and that's why you weren't able to see it. But yeah, I thought that, since I got bangs, why don't I just wear them like I should? So, but yeah, I've been having the same haircut for about a month or so. All right. So, by the way, do you guys like my cup? Look at this nice cup. It's so, so nice. It has these little angel wings. Yeah. Okay. I was reading something the other day. I also reposted it. It was on Instagram from Trading Fanatic, I think. Yeah, from Trading Fanatic on Instagram. And it was something like, and I'm a big advocate of this. And I've spoken about this during my whole chapter when I've actually participated in writing like an ebook with FundedNext together with a lot of other traders, just to name some of the, the bigger names that were actually part of writing chapters to put that ebook together, like Bernd Skropinski, I think it's his name. He's actually been the all-time highest paid, the guy that made the biggest withdrawals with FTMO, Bernd Skropinski, I think that's his name. I hope I'm not, ruining his name in any way. It was actually we put together like different chapters, like I said, in partnership with FundedNext. Also, there was Andrew FX, I think. He's from Romania. She's a co-national of mine, Andrew FX. So yeah, there were I think seven traders, including myself, or 5. Can't remember exactly. And we were all given, a chapter in this ebook, and I've actually dedicated my chapter to talking about the following: how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? And I read this today on Trading Fanatics Instagram page, and like I said, I also reposted it on my stories. And I've actually noticed quite a lot that every time when I become sloppy in my day-to-day life, I start to get poorer results in my trading. And that's mainly because, just to give you a few examples of areas in your life where you might become a little sloppy without you even knowing that you're doing that. Like, for example, I go to the gym, okay? I used to go to the gym every other day. So I would go today, and then tomorrow would be a day off, and then I would go again after tomorrow, and then another day off, and so on and so forth. So I used to do this, and right now for I think 1.5 months or so, I've started going to the gym every day because that's what I've been looking to do for quite some time now. And I feel really good going to the gym every day, right? At the same time, I feel like it energizes me, but at the same time, I feel sometimes that it energizes me too much, to the point that I feel almost like invincible, I almost feel like invincible, and I tend to do stuff during the day that I might not necessarily be well equipped for. Like in terms of, for example, maybe I just sign up for different projects. Maybe I'm just going to say, well, I'm just going to do this reel, or I'm just going to film this video, or I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to go visit that place or whatever, right? Because I feel very energized because I work out every day, and that really makes me feel energized, right? But I don't actually realize when I sign up for different projects during the day that I might not actually get the time to make all those things that I signed up for. And then I just start to give up on things. Like, okay, so I said that I'm going to go there today, or I said that I'm going to film this thing today, and I actually don't have time. And sometimes I either promise to myself, tomorrow I'm going to do this, and then I find myself that tomorrow I'm just breaking that promise to myself. So it's one way to see it as sloppiness from my side. Other times I'm going to find myself just starting so many things during the day, and then I actually extend doing those things during the evening and also all the way into the night, all the way till I actually start feeling overwhelmed, and I just pass my my going to bed hour, okay? And that makes me go to bed late at times, and obviously it makes me get out in the morning late, okay? So because of this, I've started thinking, because I really try to get up early in the morning. Like, for example, today I woke up at it was 4:38 a.m. when I opened my eyes, and I just couldn't go to sleep anymore. And I just said to myself, well, might as well just not go to sleep, because if I'm going to say, well, I'm just going to stay for one more minute or so, then I'm likely just going to extend that into more, and then I'm just going to feel super bad about myself. And that's how I said, well, you know what? I'm just not going to sleep anymore. Okay, so I woke up at it was 4:38 a.m. and but I just noticed, and I just could not notice the fact that it sometimes sloppiness just slips in my day-to-day activity, and we tend to not observe that. We tend to not actually being able to see that. And when that happens, you guys, I can assure you that eventually that is going to be something that will become very visible into your trading as well. Because like I said, how you do something, you do everything, okay? And you just want to make sure that, as much as possible, you're going to prevent yourself from giving yourself the opportunity to become sloppy, okay? So another area, or like another thing that I've noticed myself to sometimes being a little sloppy is, for example, with what I eat. I try to eat, nutritious foods, no junk food and stuff like that. I try to drink water during the day and not anything else. I stopped drinking alcohol for like the last time when I drank alcohol, I think it was back in September. Yeah, in September. And I've been feeling great, honestly, both physically and mentally. Now, I really think that it's important that you guys put your life, or not your life, but actually your day-to-day activities under some sort of an X-ray. Okay, just put your life, your day-to-day activity under some sort of an X-ray, and try to pay attention to when you are becoming sloppy. Okay, because when you're saying that you're going to do something, just do the damn thing. And when you're saying that you better stop doing this, or you better stop eating this junk food, or that you better stop drinking alcohol, or anything like that. It can be anything, okay? Anything that you feel that you shouldn't be doing and you are doing it. I really think it's very, very important that we X-ray our lives and our day-to-day activities like that, and just be ruthless when it comes to removing these things from our lives, okay? Yeah, I think it's really, really important. All right, so we've had some sort of a SMT divergence over here. Okay, I think it's more visible on the lower time frames, definitely more visible on the lower time on the 1 minute chart. And we can see that we might be forming this bearish fair value gap here on the 5 minutes chart. But at the same time, what I'm not happy about is the fact that we also have this SMT divergence at the lows, like so. And when that happens, I'm really not happy about it. And that low is actually this one over here. Oh, wow. Okay. Sort of like this. Okay. Now, I don't like the way this candle on silver is rejecting after taking sell side liquidity, SMT sell side, and also creating a new SMT divergence. Okay. I'm not really happy about that. And the idea of, you know, looking for a possible short trade, but we'll see. We'll see. For now, all I can say is that we are deeply under the 50% level of this last bullish range. And if we go to the 30 minutes, we have this bullish fair value gap that we just went under it right now. But anyway, we'll see. All right. Okay, so this was a fair value gap the price rejected off of. It rejected off of that and then it went lower. Okay, so we could see price rejecting from that level again, or we could see price, and this SMT is no longer valid because, yeah, just silver just completely smashed these things over here. So we might see gold rejecting again after taking sell side liquidity under here, okay? So basically just rejecting from the same bullish FVG as it did previously, or we might actually see it just smash through it and, you know, seeking liquidity lower. But anyway, we'll see. We don't know exactly, or I mean, I don't know exactly what it could actually do. And like I've said many times to you as well, don't try to figure out what the market will do next, because you can't know the next move that the market is going to have. Okay, the best thing that you can do is just notice whatever it is that the market is doing right now and try to figure out if you can make something of it. All right, try to figure out if you can make something of it. That's the best thing that you could do. All right, so right now we have buy side liquidity over here and over here as well on silver. I should say over there. All right. This became an inversion fair value gap. This one so far is still supporting price, but we'll see. So silver over here took out this SMT divergence from this area right there, whereas gold did not do that. So I'm pretty curious to see, apart from this 5-minute BISI, would there be any other reason why gold might actually just find support into a fair value gap, obviously inside this area? Oh, look at this. Look at this. All right, so that's a 30-minute bullish fair value gap. And what I also want to do is I want to mark this fair value gap over here on the 30 minutes, see if price is actually going to inverse that. All right. So this right now in silver became inverted. And we have this CIBI over here. Okay. All right, so it's just a waiting game, you guys. It's just a waiting game because so far I haven't been able to see anything to make me want to take a trade. So I'm not doing anything. Virtually just sitting on my hands right now. So Mr. Shezi cleared his FundedNext phase 1 today. Congrats, Mr. Shezi. Well done. Once you're going to clear your second phase, you're going to reach your payout. They're going to be really serious about it, so you don't have to worry a thing about it. And by the way, guys, I don't know if you follow FundedNext on social media, but they've recently announced that they are extending their services to the futures market. So we will soon be able to see, we will soon be able to trade with FundedNext on futures. So if you guys want to try out this, their challenge phases, get used to their challenge conditions and all of that, you can find a link in the description of this live stream, and it's basically everywhere in my other social media. And you can see that a link that is going to give you some sort of a discount. I'm not really sure what the discount is, but anyway. All right, so what are we seeing here? I like this. All right, I like this. Sorry, it should be. I like that minor SMT divergence. What I don't like about it is the fact that it just created this bullish fair value gap right here, in here on the 1 minute time frame, the 941 candle, after taking sell side liquidity over there, and we're still in an SMT. All right, we're still in an SMT. It's this one over here. So although on the 1 minute it might have seen as a good idea to short, it actually is not. All right, it really isn't. I keep saying to myself, that I shouldn't really be looking at the 1 minute chart anymore. And then I just surprise myself looking at the 1 minute chart. It's so annoying. All right, so gold is really showing, continuous signs of strength over here, you see. But this is such a big range, you guys. Really big range, to enter a long and to actually just have a huge stop loss. Yes, Mr. Shed. So Mr. Shed says something that I've actually told you guys in a previous live stream. Best way to calculate lot size is to divide the capital you want to risk by the number of points in your stop loss. Exactly. So for example, if you don't want to lose more than $200 on a trade, you're gonna calculate, and your stop loss, it's, let's say, 200 points. 200 points on gold, for example, means 20 pips. Okay. Or for example, here, like this candle, right? The current candle is like 500 points. Okay, it's 500 points, and so if you wouldn't want to lose more than $200 on a trade, let's say, and your stop loss is going to be 500 points, then you're going to think, well, 200 divided by 500, and that's how you find your lot size. So it's probably going to be 0.04, I think, something like that, or 0.4. I'm not really sure. Not good at math right now, but anyway. All right, so we reached into this fair value gap over here. So right now, you guys, if it could only, but I don't think it will, because look at the rejection that we got from this 30-minute fair value gap, which is, it's just no longer inverted. All right, and this one just doesn't really matter anymore, so I'm just going to remove it. So just look at this market over here. So yeah, not really sure. But if I'll see gold, you know, stalling inside this SIBI over here, and it's just staying there, not being able to move higher, while at the same time silver just goes significantly higher above these highs over here, and then silver rejects, and I also see gold rejecting from that SIBI, then yes, I would consider taking a short. But other than that, no, I'm not. This one doesn't mean anything right now. This minor SMT we had there on the 1 minute. Yeah. This could have been a good entry, but I'm not gonna lie, I was scared of this candle right here. 939, because look at the range of that, and I thought, you know, that price could just do this and then just reject from there, but that would have been a good way to look for it, to look for a buy. But now that's gone, so yeah. Bearish SMT, it seems. Yeah, not really. We'll see. Anyway, one thing that I keep remembering whenever in heavily bullish markets, my brain wants to look for short setups. One thing I usually remember is, especially if I take a loss, is I remember ICT saying so many times that, what your problem is, the majority of you aspiring traders out there, is that you want to catch the big reversal, that you're not actually thinking that more often than not, price will continue to move in the direction in which it kept on moving for the past days or weeks or months. And you're just desperately trying to catch the big reversal right from the top. And that actually just is more harmful than not. I just think about that every time I'm looking at heavily bullish markets, and I have a tendency to look for short setups. And I think like last week, I took 2 losses during 2 different streams, just like that, looking for short setups when the market was definitely showing signs of bullishness, of continuing. And yeah, I just try to remind myself that every time. But if you see the setup there, then what would be the discipline if you have the setup and you don't take it because you're afraid, well, what if ICT is right? I'm trying to look for the big reversal. You know, I don't know. Anyway. All right. Yeah, the trend is your friend. Most of the time it is. But we tend to think that, you know, with a deeper pullback or a liquidity grab or something like that, we tend to think that, oh, the trend is reversing. When actually, more often than not, the market will continue to move in the same direction. And what seems to be like a reversal for us as day traders, short-term traders, scalpers, it's actually like long-term or not even medium-term is not a reversal. It's actually just a pullback, right? Because, for example, if you go on the 1 minute time frame here, you might have thought that this is a break of structure, right? And then right now price is just pulling back, and it's going to reject from there, and that, oh my God, it broke the structure, so we're reversing, right? I mean, yeah, maybe if you look at it from a 1 minute perspective or from a 30 seconds perspective, but if you think medium term to long term, like on the 1 hour chart, for example, there's basically no indication at the current moment, absolutely whatsoever, no indication that price is actually looking to reverse. Because here, based on the 1 hour, in order for price to reverse, it might actually have to break under all this area over here, right? And that would be actually a break of structure. Based on the classic way of understanding or identifying market structures on higher time frames, like 1 hour, 4 hour, daily, whatever, okay? So what many times to us as scalpers might seem as a reversal, actually long-term is just a minor pullback. And we just tend to think that, oh my God, so I'm just going to catch this reversal from the very top and I'm going to ride it thousands of pips and I'm just going to get rich and I'm just going to get this dream house with the pool and the Lambos. Oh, no, you guys, it doesn't work like that. I wish it would, but it doesn't. So yeah, all right, so let's just remove some of these things on silver over here, because right now all that matters is this. All right. And this was the 30-minute, I think. Yeah, just look at that, right? And also into this one, like it was, see, and it also took out this SMT liquidity over here. So yeah, I should have taken that long trade. Anyway, right now it's too late to jump in the train because it already left the station. So all right, so you guys, one more time, if you guys want to try out FundedNext, get used to their challenge conditions, you can do that free of charge. Okay, you're gonna find a link in my in the description of the video and in the description of every video that I have on YouTube. And if you are going to be okay with their trading conditions and then you decide to get a challenge account, you're going to get some sort of discount if you're using that link in the description. So yeah, and like I said, they're also very soon gonna have futures accounts available, which I really think that it's awesome. I really think it's awesome. All right, so actually just looking at this thing in here, you know, funny is that I was just saying, well, why do you want to look for reversals? Do you want to catch the big reversal from the top? And that's exactly what my mind tells me right now, that I should be looking for a short. But anyway, We'll see. We'll see. Because for now, we do have this SMT, right? Where gold is just stopping into this bearish fair value gap. Silver went higher over here at this minor buy side, SMT buy side, and it's showing signs of rejection from there. But anyway, we'll see. We shall see. You know, I still haven't found, I mean, not that I haven't found a way. I still didn't bring the YouTube chat in front of the OBS thingy so that I can actually see the chat on my laptop screen. So I still have to do that on my phone. That's what I'm doing. I'm making sure that the chat, that I see if you guys post any questions. All right, so it's 57 souls here in this live stream, myself included. I cannot like my own live stream. I mean, I can do it, but then it would be weird. So I would really, really appreciate it if you guys would hit that thumbs up button and show some love in the stream so that you guys support this, me making these live streams. Of course, if you enjoy them, if you feel like they're useful, if you feel like you're learning stuff. And if you don't, you can always give a thumbs down. I don't mind. Also, I was thinking, if you guys ever have questions that you don't get to ask in the chat during the live stream, or if, for example, for some reason you're not, you know, you ask a question and for some reason I don't answer your question, then you can actually just ask your question after the live stream ends. All right, you guys, I'm in this short trade. I've been entering this, so my entry is 3033.48. 3033.48. This is where I got filled. 3033.48. Come on, where are you? Anyway, something like this, okay? All right, so we'll see if we can get what we want. And I would really love for that, for this fair value gap, this one, to be inverted. Like, I really want price to invert it. Okay, it's going out quite nicely. Now, one thing, if I'll see silver going under this low, and I really want to monitor this on the 1 minute, okay? Because it's really important that I monitor this on the 1 minute. So if I'll see silver going under that low, whereas gold will not do that, if I'll see any form of rejection from silver after taking out this low, I will reconsider my trade. I mean, reconsider, what does that even mean? Alex, what does that even mean? Reconsider my trade? Weird. Okay, guys, anyone else took this trade? You can actually post a Y, letter Y in the chat if you guys took this trade. And if you did not, and it's just gonna flop. Okay, so Thomas took it. If none of you took the trade and it's gonna flop, then you're gonna be happy. And if you didn't take it and it's just gonna continue to go down, just don't jump in it without knowing why, okay? Just don't. All right. So someone said he's long from 3025.59. 3025. So that was around here. So you didn't take any profit? Like, dude, price went 130 points in your favor and you didn't take anything. You know, what can I say? Some people just don't like money. Yeah. Maybe you should reconsider your targets or anything like that, because, you know, to be long from 30.25 and price went to 30.38, right? Like, why would you not take profit, at least a partial? Or anyway, it's good if you know what you're doing. It's perfectly fine. Just don't listen to me. I'm just saying what I would have done. But yeah, I would have paid the trader, definitely. Would have done that. All right, so silver just smashing through that low. I really don't want to see silver starting to reject on me right now, okay? I really don't want to see it doing that. The most, like, the most thing that I would be okay with seeing silver do is retest this and then continue to move lower, and just don't move above it. Don't even close not a 1 minute candle above that high. That's what I would love to see it do. But who knows if it's gonna listen to me? We don't know. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, we're inverting this. At least this is what it's doing. Just I would like to see price continue to respect this fair value gap. This should be here at 10 a.m. on the 1 minute. And if it won't, it is what it is. It's going to be full stop loss and that's it. Okay, we got an inversion, not inversion, but like an inception FVG. The way I like to call it is when price goes up into a fair value gap and then leaves from that fair value gap with so much speed and distance that it actually just continues to create another fair value gap. So it's a fair value gap that's created as a rejection from another fair value gap, from a previous fair value gap. And that's what I call inception FVG. So it would be this one, the 9.55 on the 5 minute. If we go to the 1 minute, we'll see that silver did close back above that range that it just broke out of, not range, but under, you know, this low that it just previously broke. But right now, seeing that it might actually break even lower, that would be really, really good. It would really be good. I would like to see it do that. and inverse this one perhaps. That would also be good, the 1 minute. But yeah, just looking at it, I think I might actually just go lower, bleed lower. There's just a lot of trend line liquidity over here, and I know I've said, you know, gold showing signs of strength because it's just creating and respecting this, what a lot of people would call a trend line, right? But I don't know, there's just something off. Or maybe there isn't. Maybe it's just my mindset of doing exactly what ICT said, which is looking for the big reversal. Yeah, I might actually be doing just that, you guys. Anyway. So just imagine that right now, I am not hearing anything, right? It's really silent in here where I'm at right now, which is at home. And you guys are hearing some background music. And I can only think of how difficult it actually is to wait. How difficult it actually is to wait, you guys. To wait for your setup to form, to wait for price to give you an entry confirmation, to wait for your targets to be hit. That's really something. Is my FundedNext discount 7% or 12%? I think it should be 12, but I'm not really sure, honestly. I think it should be 12. But honestly, I'm not really sure, like I said. You can try out the link, okay? Because if you're gonna use the link, it should actually show you whether you're gonna get a discount or not. And if you use the link and then when you go to checkout, it's not gonna show you that you're getting a discounted price for the challenge that you want to get. You can also put in under the discount code field, you can put RBV 075. Okay, with capital letters, so RBV 075. You can try to use that. Okay, so silver, it's doing the right thing in here, which is just breaking lower, which is exactly what gold should be doing. All right. So just keep going, baby. Come on. I don't see any reason why it just wouldn't continue to push lower, honestly. I don't. I just don't. And still 20 seconds more until the current 1 minute candle will close. But if we create this fair value gap here on the 10-10 candle on the 1 minute, that's also going to be good, okay? Because that's basically the SIBI that's showing us that, yes, it does want to invert this purple one that it initially rejected off of, and it went up into that SMT, into creating that SMT with it. All right, so this is getting very close to R. Might as well just take something from it, you guys, because it did quite well. It's more than 100. No, it's actually not more. It's almost 100 pips right now. It's almost 100 points. I would have liked to not see silver do what it's doing here, but it still has a chance. All right, it still has a chance. We'll see. So that was like a 15-minute, no, this was 5-minute. And the other one on silver was 15-minute, I think this one, right? Yeah. But, you know, it doesn't make sense to keep it there because it's just crowding my chart. So technically speaking, I would really like to see silver, you know, continuing to break lower, continuing to respect bearish fair value gaps. And for now, it seems to be rejecting off of the 10-10, the 1-minute SIBI over here. That's overlapping that minor SMT SMT sell side. But it would really need to break lower, you know, just continue to push lower in order for me to have like some sort of an extra confirmation that it's okay for me to keep my gold trade open for just a little more. All right, so this is a 1-minute BISI, a 1-hour BISI over here. This. And we've also taken some, come on, H1 BISI, oh, not here. We've also taken this minor SMT SSL here. Considering the heaviness of this drop over here, I'm not really seeing any reason for which it wouldn't continue to push lower. I'm just trying to talk myself to continue to be in this trade, you know. I like what silver did in here. All right, so this one. All right, this SIBI is extremely important, which makes this SIBI on gold also extremely important right now, because think about it like this. So if we go here, okay, we've swept all this area over here and actually, you know, made it seem that it's not just a liquidity sweep, but it's actually a run on liquidity. In other words, it will continue to move lower, right? At least this is what silver is showing based on my understanding, okay? So the 10-10 1-minute SIBI being the most recent SIBI that price rebalanced and then moved out of it, rejected out of it, off of it with speed and distance, I would definitely not want to see this SIBI being invalidated. Definitely not want to see that SIBI being invalidated. So I'll just go put stops at break even right now. All right, but just so you know, this is where I initially had my stop loss. Okay, right above the entry candle, and I'm just gonna go break even right now. All right, and see if price will continue to bleed lower, because technically speaking, this is what we should see. All right, this is what we should see, that it's just going to continue to move lower. But you never know. Yeah, ReZHD is saying in the chat it was a great entry. Yeah, it was a great entry. I'm starting to think maybe I Should have considered taking some off right here at that low, but anyway, we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, I just want to see price continuing to move lower on both pairs. All right, I don't want to start seeing that they're gonna break their correlation again. Okay, as long as they're correlated and they both move into creating lower lows and lower highs, that's good. All right, it's really good. And I really don't want to see it stop inside this 1 hour BISI. I really don't want to see it stop inside that 1 hour BISI. What I like is the fact that it didn't even create like a 1 minute BISI in here after having reached into that 1 hour fair value gap in here. All right, so I am fine with that. I like that, but I would really want to see it continue to push lower, you know, bleed lower, like, and literally just doing that. So there's this area here that silver just had so much accumulation inside, and right now it's just right there. It seems as if it's struggling to pass through that. I'm just gonna mark this BISI over here because it's really seen, you know, an important area. And if silver is gonna manage to break under there, that's just gonna be a good thing for us. All right, really, really good thing. Okay, let's go back to the 5 minutes, see what it's doing. Okay, so far it's playing nice. Wow, just look at how, you know, overly extended the candles on silver look like. Like, what the heck is this? I just have to minimize it so that it just looks decent. So right now I'm 90 pips in profit. 80 pips in profit. And stops at break even. You see how this last 5 minute candle, the current one that's currently running, you see how it's creating a lower low, but it's not doing that on silver. And we rejected off of this fair value gap, see, off of this CB, the 1010 CB. So just as I was saying earlier, all right, the 1010 CB is as important on gold as it is on silver. Why? Because it's, you know, price went in it, rebalanced, and then it went lower, right? Created a lower low. So we should not see that being inverted, because if we see that being inverted, it's just not good, okay? It's just not good, because you think about it like this. Just the most simple explanation that I can give for this is the following. Well, if the fair value gap is offering resistance, right? And price found resistance so that it can actually move lower and create a lower low, then this should continue to be an area of resistance. And if price would move back inside that area and it would actually just break above it, then it would not be a resistance anymore, right? It would be a broken resistance, which right now might actually turn into support, okay? So that's my logic behind it, all right? I'm also gonna mark this 5 minute CB here. because it nicely overlaps with the 1 minute SIBI. And this one on silver as well, which silver already reached into it, but I don't really like what's going on here from a 1 minute perspective. I'm not really a fan of what's... Alright, someone is telling me, take profit, take profit. Alright, I'm gonna listen to that person. Alright, so I take half of the profit. Half of my trade is closed right now. And the rest is locked at break even. Alright, see if we can actually just take that lower. And if not, I'm just going to consider it as like a break even trade or something like that. It being my fault for not taking more profit, but whatever. I was actually telling to one of you earlier in the stream, right? Oh my god, you didn't take profit, and actually that person was just, that's where they had their bullish pending order. I can see why it was like that. I can see why. From this inversion and also overlapping with the 1 hour VISI. I can see why. So guys, you didn't tell me if you like the music. How's the music on the how's the music on the stream? Do you like it? Is it good? Should I change the style? Do you want more like lo-fi music or what? Music's good. So someone says, came here for the first time. Thank you. And I must say you're good. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thomas said he closed his trade near the target earlier. Okay, you did well in doing that. That's good. Music better now than earlier, lol. LOL. Okay, so I take it was some sort of a weird song. Yeah. Sorry. Alright. 58 people watching. We have 54 likes. So thank you guys. Thank you. It's actually, yeah, the big majority of you are liking the stream. Thank you so much. It really means a lot to me. I don't know, no questions today? Like, you guys really don't have any questions for me today? Do you not want me to talk about anything? I don't know. My hair color is great. Thank you. Thank you. If you were to trade NAS, would you SMT it with S&P 500 or US 30? I honestly have no idea, but I'd probably do it with S&P 500. Don't ask me why. I've just seen people do that, and you know, if you see people who trade futures do it like that, then you're thinking, okay, they must be doing the right thing because it's their thing. So yeah, probably S&P with S&P 500. M5 fair value gap aligned with SIBIs should be respected for the move to continue. Yes. To continue where? Up or down? Because I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. So you said M5 to continue down. It should be, yeah, but let's not forget about the fact that right now we are in a 1 minute, in a 1 hour BISI, which is this one over here. Come on. This one, all right? And it, you know, seems to be rejecting off of it. And it also kind of like took out minor SMT sell side. The best thing that could happen right now in order for us to have a confirmation that it will continue to push lower is the fact that we should see it rejecting from here and continuing to go lower. All right. If it does that, then yes, we might actually be targeting these areas lower. But if not, I'm really paying attention to this bullish fair value gap, the 1022. All right, because we had a, gold created a lower low here. It doesn't really look like it's relevant, but it actually is. Because it's not really that aligned in here, but we'll see. We'll see. The music is good. Lily of the Valley. Yeah, I remember there were some songs from Lily of the Valley. Yeah, and I really liked those. Actually, I think most of them are from that creator, musician, whatever. Okay, so Ali Hassan, it's my first time joining your live stream. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to like the stream if you consider it, helpful, useful, whatever. Interesting, an H1 stronger confluence than M5 because it's higher time frame. Yeah, exactly, because it's higher time frame. But at the same time, we also have to be aware of the fact that reversals start from the lower time frames and then they get supported. The idea of a reversal gets supported from one higher time frame to the other, right? So if we go here on the 1 minute, we'll first see that we had some signs of reversal, rejection, whatever, from the 1 minute, and then the 5 minutes starts to support that idea. When 5 minute bearish fair value gaps form, then price goes up, rebalances them, and then pushes lower, breaks lower. And then during this time, on the 15 minute, the same thing's going to happen. We're going to see bearish fair value gaps forming, and then we're going to have like another pullback into a 15 minute or a 30 minute or whatever, right? And then price will actually reject from there and continue to push lower, okay? Now, it's the same thing that it's happening right now on the 1 hour chart, okay? Like, this is pretty much what we've seen happening during the past week, right? Like, we've seen price going higher, creating imbalance here, then it went down into what it seemed at that time to be a possible reversal, only to then continue to push higher, okay? Then create another imbalance over here, another bullish fair value gap, right? And then, making pullback and then going higher, and then in here, creating another bullish fair value gap. This one, all right? And then, again, rebalancing, starting a pullback into what at the time on a lower time frame, it might have seen as a reversal to those that I was, talking about earlier, those of us who want to catch the big reversal from the top, right? And then, price goes higher, and then in here, most likely on that move, it came down to rebalance whatever other fair value gap. Yeah, there you go. See? So here on the 30 minutes, you see, starting a pullback, which on a 1 minute, it's going to seem as the beginning of a reversal, okay? But it doesn't mean that it is, right? Something that seems to be a reversal on the lower time frames usually is just a pullback on the higher time frames, just as we had in here, right? Price, if we go right here on the 1 minute or on the 5 minute, actually, we can actually do that. Okay, so let's just put a rectangle here. Let's just make it yellow, right? And we're going to go to the 5 minutes over there. There you go. You see? So starting from here, all right, what on the higher time frame, like 30 minutes, it's clearly just a pullback into imbalance that occurred on this push to the upside. In here on the 5-minute or on the 1-minute, to the unexperienced eye or to the trader who's actually looking to catch the reversal from the very top, that will many times look as a reversal, okay? And you just have to be aware of the fact that more often than not, it is a lot easier and a lot logic. And it happens more often that price will continue to move in the same direction as it moved previously, right? On the medium to high time frames. All right, so yeah, you just have to be aware of the fact that if you have like a parabolic move that goes only upwards, like we've seen with gold within the last at least 2 days, all right, on a 1 hour, I would need a significant move to the downside to occur on the 1 hour to signal to me that we are actually going to see a reversal, not just from a, you know, a minor pullback, which on the 1 minute or the 5 minutes looks as a reversal, but it's actually just a higher time frame pullback. All right, it's very important to keep that in mind. You see, this is what I don't like, right? Because look at it, just look at it, how it's turning this 1010 SIBI, which was previously respected, reached you know, and rejected off of, and it went into this some sort of a SMT. It'd be something like this, okay, in my head. But if I would look at candle bodies, okay, this is definitely an SMT, all right? If you look at it, like candle bodies, it has a name, this type of SMT, where from the point of view of the wicks of the candles, they both created lower lows, right? Both swing lows were lower. But from the point of view of candle bodies, we can see the difference. Gold created lower low, silver did not create lower low, it created higher low, right? I honestly forgot how this is called. It's not a hidden SMT divergence. I forgot how it's called. But just as an idea, right? I see that, and then I see the BISI forming here on the 1 minute on the 1022 candle. And then it's forming at the same area with the 1 hour fair value gap. And then it's forming at the same area with this inversion. And just like I've explained to you, the trade that I've taken yesterday, right? Where I've took a trade along from inversion fair value gap, such as this one. So we had this bearish fair value gap. Price seemed to be rejecting off of it, only to actually just stop inside this BISI, creating therefore a higher high, whereas at the same time silver created a lower creating a higher low, whereas silver created a lower low, right? And then that SIBI, this one, gets inverted, and then price in here starting to show signs of bullishness, right? Yeah. So this one is becoming inverted. And then we have a rejection from here. All right, so I'm still in that short, okay, with half of the position that I entered initially. And I'm locked at break even, all right? I'm still not convinced with the long. I don't know why. But if I'm not convinced with the long, even though technically speaking, it does show all the signs why I would want to take a long here. We have SMT, silver took sell side under this whole consolidation area here, all right? And we have a new SMT where gold is stopping, finding support into that 1 hour BISI. I just feel like the move to the upside as a rejection from that 1 hour BISI, at least from a 5-minute perspective, should have been a little more convincing, you know? I don't know, I just feel that way. Maybe I'm wrong, who knows? But that's how I feel. Also on silver, you see here, I mean, it's rejecting, but not with speed and distance, if you know what I mean. All right, so I'm not really convinced with the long idea on the 1 minute or anything. And if it's just going to reclaim this 1010 SIBI that it went above and just reclaim it, and that would make a lot of more sense to me at this point. Because I'm not seeing the momentum that I would consider normal to see for the upside if it would want to start pushing higher right now, you know? Maybe that momentum will come a little later, but right now, I'm not seeing it, so yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Ouch. This is my second coffee for today. It's 4:40 p.m. right now in my location. I think because I've lately, ever since I'm doing these live streams, I've started having like a second coffee during the day. I'm thinking maybe this could be one of the reasons why I'm going to bed a little later than normal. But no, I don't think it is. All right, I think I've seen someone posting a question in the chat. Let's see what that is. My question, Alex, is that if the SMT was just showing weakness on gold and was not a reversal SMT, why not take partial sooner? Yeah, you're absolutely right. You got a good point there. So yeah, I could have taken partial sooner. It's completely my fault for not having taken partial once price reached into the closest SMT sell side area, which it found, which was here. Like for it was really a stupid call from my side, you know, for a measly 7 more pips. So for a measly 7 more pips, I did not take profit here. Anyway, that's fine. Jimmy Chua said that he has a long entry from 30.25. You're the second person saying this. Chris G. Closed my short positions in a loss. Seems bullish. I'm really curious why you close your short position in a loss, because it never reached back to the entry point, which was here 30.33 something. Maybe you actually got in on an impulse a lot lower I don't know. Someone says he's on a buy on NAS using S&P 500 SMT. So guys, try to understand. I'm not saying, because I haven't opened NAS or S&P 500 charts, okay? So I don't know what exactly they are showing. But try to understand that just seeing an SMT does not suffice for you to make a trading decision, okay? Like I've said many times during these live streams, and if you guys want like a deeper explanation of what I'm about to give you, once again, as an explanation about SMT plus fair value gaps, if you want to see like a more thorough explanation about this, you can watch my previous live streams. Or I've actually had also made like 2 full-time length videos explaining that, right? You're going to find them on my YouTube channel. So first thing that you have to keep in mind is that if the SMT is the first thing to appear, okay, so I'm going to have gold creating a higher high, right? So time-wise, the SMT is already happening because silver is just creating a lower high. So time-wise, I already have the SMT. So if I see that the SMT is the first one forming, right, and gold is the one taking or, you know, creating a higher high, at the point of gold creating that higher high, to me, from a market structure standpoint, that looks as a break in structure to the upside, all right? So there should be virtually no reason whatsoever why gold would want to create a bearish fair value gap after having taken that high. All right. So just to make it clear, it doesn't make sense for price to break structure to the upside, right? Creating a higher high and then create a bearish fair value gap. It doesn't make sense. The only sense it would make is that the bearish fair value gap would tell you that this push to the upside was not a break of structure and that it was actually a liquidity sweep. All right. And silver not being able to push higher, it's actually showing signs of this market being overbought. In other words, it's expensive. So when something is expensive, it means it's in premium. It means it ought to become cheaper. It means it ought to go lower, right? Just logic. So you first see the SMT where gold goes higher, creates a higher high, or vice versa, it creates a lower low, and silver creates a higher low. This would be for a long, right? So the same thing, if gold creates a lower low, in other words, I'm thinking it's breaking structure to the downside, all right? It should have no reason whatsoever why it would create a bullish fair value gap after having taken out that low. But if it does create a bullish fair value gap, then that's an indication that this low, when it was broken downside, it was not a break of structure, market structure shift, change of character, whatever you want to call it. It was not that. It was just a liquidity sweep. And the fact that silver, the indicator, right, the pair that we use as an indicator, is showing signs of strength. In other words, it's unable to create a lower low, right? It creates a higher low. Then it's showing us that this market would be in an oversold condition. In other words, it's cheap, so it ought to become more expensive, so it ought to go up, right? So gold creating that bullish fair value gap here and then rebalancing it and then showing signs of rejection off of that, that would be your indication to look for a long. Now, this is the logic that I apply when I'm looking for reversals, all right? So bearish reversal or bullish reversal, all right? Whenever we're talking about continuation, for example, let's say that price overall is bullish, okay? And then I see price starting to form like a bearish thingy, okay? Because it broke that high over here, I'm thinking this is a break of structure and this push to the downside that started here, it's a pullback, all right? So at that point, gold will come lower into whatever bullish fair value gap that it created to the left side of the chart, all right? And therefore, it's then going to start to show signs of rejection off of there and forming a higher low, all right? So first I had the busy, which was created here on that push to the upside, it went higher. And then price comes down, makes a pullback, rebalances that, and therefore it starts to show rejection from that pre-existing busy. And it's showing that SMT. So this time, the first thing that occurred, that happened, that was formed on the chart was the fair value gap, the BISI. And then we see the SMT. During this time, when gold would come down here only to rebalance this FVG, thus creating the higher high, silver would create a lower low. Thus creating a higher low, all right? Silver was doing the same thing. It was going up, and then silver created a lower low. All right, so this low would be the same as that one on gold, and this low on silver, which went lower, would be the same time-wise as that one. So gold would create a higher low where it would find support into a pre-existing BISI, and then silver would create a lower low, but then immediately show signs of rejection to the upside. All right, that would be the indication that gold is continuing, or it might actually continue to push higher. Okay, now you have to understand, again, just having an SMT does not say anything. If you see the SMT, it should be confirmed by a fair value gap. If you have a fair value gap in price, and you're thinking that that's all the way that price went into, and now it will reject from that fair value gap, you have to wait for some sort of SMT to form with silver, because if not, then chances are that fair value gap will not be the fair value gap we want to enter off of, and it will actually just inverse it or invert it or whatever. All right, so that's the logic. Like I said, if you guys have, time, if you have time, if you want to find out more about this logic that I'm applying with SMT plus FVG or FVG plus SMT, okay, I have a lot of videos on my YouTube channel about that, so you can just go ahead and see those. All right, so going back to the 1 minute, look at this SIBI, the 1010. It actually held price pretty nice, and we're reclaiming it on gold as well. So I like whatever it is that's going on in here. I just, it would be nice to see just continuing in the same fashion, because right now, I'm just going to remove all of these because I don't think we need them anymore. Right now, we did have like relatively equal lows or a slightly lower low on silver, and we're still not breaking lower on gold. It's still finding it hard to break under that 1 hour BISI, but we'll see. Looks bearish to me. The structure gold laid up the entire day is a bullish structure just for liquidity taking. My opinion as well, okay? My opinion as well, but you never know until it happens. For now, all we can do is just look at whatever the current candles are doing, and if we see that the current flow is going to start to, that the market is going to start to flow into the opposite direction, because for now it's flowing downwards, right? All right, we had a nice drop, created very fair value gap, price rebalanced it, rejected off of it, went lower. All right, created a new fair value gap, didn't go up into it, but it created this one then, and then it went up, and it seems like it might want to go lower, but for now we don't know for sure. All right, we don't know for sure. Now on the other hand, we could also see this totally starting to flow the opposite way, just like I said. How would that look like? We're going to see price starting to form bullish candles with the bullish fair value gap, rebalance that, and then shoot up just exactly like it did yesterday. And if you guys were not paying attention at the beginning of the live stream, I'm just going to show you. Here it is. All right, here it is. So the exact same thing happened yesterday. All right, we had a huge drop. Okay, huge drop. going up into this fair value gap, pushing lower, creating a new bearish fair value gap, and then finding it hard to break under it. And then eventually it broke above it with creating a bullish fair value gap. All right, in here. And then it just rebalanced that, and then it went higher, right? So, and just look at that. It just went higher like crazy, okay? So we might see the same thing in here right now, you guys. You just have to know where to put your focus. And the best place to put your focus in is right here. Right here. The current price action. What's it doing? Candle after candle. What exactly is it doing? All right. Okay. So just remain open to both sides of the market, because I try not to come already biased in front of the charts, okay? Because if I'm going to come already biased in front of the charts, I might miss up on opportunities. Like I think it was on Thursday. I think it was on Thursday when I took a loss. I just came into the stream thinking that it needs to go down, because it just has been ridiculously bullish so far, and it just has to make at least a deeper pullback. So I was focusing only on short trades. I took a short trade. It ended up in a loss, and then I ended up completely missing up on the opportunity to go long, and it was just a perfect trade, a perfect long trade that I just completely ignored. Not that I ignored, I just didn't see, because I was not focusing on looking for long trades. All right, so it's really important where you put your focus. Really, really important where you put your focus. Yeah. Because you see, things can change, you know, from 1 minute to the other. Okay, so you just have to be aware of the fact that the market will not do what you think it's going to do. The market will do what it's doing. All right, and if you don't put your focus to what the market is doing, but you put your focus to what you think the market should do or it will do, you're not focusing on the right aspect. And when you're not focusing on the right aspect, you will miss out on opportunities. Yeah. All right. 50 people in the live stream. I think it's including myself. So let's say 49. And I'm very sure that you already have, you know, a person who might actually be interested, you know, to learn more about trading. Maybe you find something interesting in this live stream with the way I'm explaining things. Just make sure you share the links of these live streams with whoever you think might actually find some value in them, guys. So just think about it like this. Every like, every comment, every share, it's really going to help push this type of content to other people who might actually need it. Okay, and I'm sure that you, being a trader or an aspiring trader, there is at least one more person in your entourage that it's looking to learn how to trade. Okay, at least one person who's looking to learn how to trade or to grasp or understand various concepts. If that's the case, you'd be doing them and myself a great favor to share my live stream with them. Yeah. It's just getting boring right now. Really boring. 3 more, or actually 2 more minutes until the 1 hour candle is going to close. And look at the way it's going to close. Like, I don't even know. Doesn't even have like a top wick? It doesn't have a top wick. And it's also the first 1 hour candle from the 4 hour candle. So the 4 hour candle might actually flip bullish. We'll see. I'm just paying attention to anything right now. I'm not worried about the trade I'm in. I'm still in this short. Locked at break even. Already took half of the trade off. But maybe we can get some sort of a other setup, other trade. You know, I'm curious because I actually did not forget. I was curious what hour the trade from yesterday gave the entry, at what hour, but it was 10, yeah, here. And right now, so 10 yesterday, and right now, the most important FVG, in my opinion, at least from a 1 minute perspective, is still 10 over here, because on both pairs, by the way. All right, so on both pairs, this is equally important. We want to see it still offering resistance if it ought to continue to move lower and just sweep all this trend line liquidity. Maybe not all of it, but at least, you know, tap out this intermediary swing low, this low that formed in between the sessions, in between the kill zones. At the same time, if silver is going to take out London low, you know, it's not going to be a good thing to consider any more longs. You know, take out London low and then reject. But we will see. Because silver in here, in reaching the low of the London session, it's also going to reach into that 15-minute BISI that it accumulated so much inside of it over here. All right, so much. This one. So that could, like, some people would call it demand zone, I think, right? Yeah, some people will call it demand zone. But we'll see. For now, like I said, the thing that I like the most is the fact that we're still finding resistance inside that CIBI. In some way, we're still finding the resistance. Okay, silver went lower, not gold. We'll see. So basically, what I can see at this point is that we're fighting in between this range. All right, this is a very, very tight range, very narrow range. It's basically just fighting in between the M1/M5 CIBI and the H1 BISI. All right, so we'll see which one will actually become stronger, because the one that's going to become stronger, it's going to become stronger by the price action that's going on right now at the present moment. So whatever happens right now is what confirms whether an older H1 fair value gap or an older M5 fair value gap, like BISI versus CIBI, it's actually just going to be more powerful than the other. All right, so the 5-minute CIBI could still show more power and more, you know, if you want, more willingness to resist price, all right, than the 1 hour BISI. Doesn't matter if this is a 1 hour BISI, because the thing that will confirm one or the other, as in quote unquote controlling the market right now is going to be whatever price action is forming at the current moment. All right, so just like with everything else in life, whatever happens right now, it's the factor that counts more, that weights more. All right, so yeah. All right, let's go. Yay. I need to bring into this live stream some sort of a cha-ching sound so we actually play it whenever a price goes in our favor. And of course some sort of like disappointment sound, like wah, 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 you know, whenever the stop loss gets hit or whenever we missed out an opportunity or something like that. Yeah, that would be really fun. Weird. So there's still another 1 hour of the music in the live stream, so I was verifying to see whether you guys will still have enough music to listen to during the stream. Really boring, so boring. And it's just the way things are whenever there is no high impact news during the day. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, most likely it's going to be a day that will move out of inertia, you know, just because it's moving, and that's it. Okay. It should somewhat reject from this CB. You see? This one, I kind of like it. But, you know, from it should to it will, it's a long way. And we should definitely not make trading decisions based on should. Yeah, definitely not. Someone says price is still struggling to go either way. Yeah, exactly. Which makes me think that we are at some sort of a equilibrium. And when I say some sort of an equilibrium, I'm not necessarily thinking like some sort of a the mid rate, the 50% of a range. All right. Just like I showed you earlier on the daily and a weekly chart, equilibrium areas could form, like, for example, a price goes up, bullish candles, bullish candles, bullish candles. This is going to make like a minor pullback. All right. You're thinking, well, why the heck would it reject from there? Because it makes no sense. There's nothing there. And then it's just going to go push higher, right? And then if you're just going to take a fib and put it from the beginning of the range and bring the 50% level to where that pullback happened, where it seemed it's just making a pullback in the premium of that range, right? But it's just rejecting from there and it's just continuing to push higher. That's actually a level of equilibrium that it's predetermined, and then it's just going to dictate how far up price might actually go till it would actually reach to make the full range, you know, of the fib. So we might be at some sort of area like that over here from, you know, maybe a lower time frame perspective. I don't know, 15 minutes or so. something like this, you know, because you see we had a lot of touches to this level right here. What's that? 30.26, something like that. 30.25, 30.26, something like that. And just so you know, it's one thing, like, because I remember ICT saying more than one time that equilibrium or fair value, not fair value gap, but fair value, a price area, not a price level, but a price area. It could be bigger in terms of pips points, depending on the time frame you're looking at. All right. Usually that's going to be an area of consolidation where price is not showing any willingness to go significantly higher or significantly lower. That means that around that area, all right, that's an agreed price by both market participants, which is, I'm just going to keep it simple, buyers and sellers, even though it's a lot more than that. But it's just an area where everyone agrees that that is the correct value of this asset. It shouldn't be more expensive. It shouldn't be more cheap than that. All right. And no one's looking to buy. No one's looking to sell, because it's a fair price. Okay. Because you have to think in terms of like you have to think with the mind of an investor. Maybe right now you're going to say, well, if I want to buy something, I will buy it if I consider that it is being sold for a fair price, right? Yes, that's true. That's how we do it in our day-to-day lives. Like if I want to go buy a sweater, right? I'll enter the store and I'll see the sweater, it's, I don't know, $50, and I'll consider that for the quality, it's at a fair price. So I'm just going to decide, well, I agree with the price, all right? Because I consider the price to be fair. But in terms of like in the investment world, in an investor's mind, he will not buy or sell when he considers that the price is fair. He's going to buy when he considers that the price is cheap, and he's going to sell when he considers that the price of that asset is expensive. So as long as that asset is considered to be fairly valued, no one's going to make the needle. No one's going to make a move to move the needle. Okay. No one's going to open a trade or a position or anything like that to start moving the needle up or down. All right. And so I'm assuming that that's when institutions actually, or smart money start to engineer liquidity. You know, when price reached at an area where it doesn't show any willingness to go significantly higher or lower, and it just can't stay like that into that consolidation like forever, right? Like something's got to give in order to make the price move out of that consolidation, either up or down. Okay, so it's usually like we've seen many times, just consolidating, then just breaks to the downside, everyone jumps into short, and then it just goes up. Or consolidating, breaks down, and then retraces back to the consolidation area, and then it starts to move lower. All right. But you just have to wait for that first move out of the consolidation to happen before you actually consider engaging in any sort of activity. Just like we've seen in here, okay, yesterday. This is the best example that I can give. Okay. So just look at this price consolidating in here. Okay, just look at it. This, see? And then you just have to be willing to let that first move be consumed. Okay, just let it go, because you don't know otherwise. Like this whole move like that was 568 points. All right, you have to be willing to let that move happen, so that the market will show you where it's tipping its hands. And then if you're going to get a pullback and then a rejection, fine. And if you won't just don't get in the trade. Okay, because there's no reason for you to do that. So we'll see if right now it wants to break out of this range like that, creating some sort of a SIBI, and then boom. I would love to see it do that, honestly. But at the same time, I'm also paying attention to what silver is doing here, because it's just reaching at that sell side and lemon low-ish, and also into that previous M15 BSI that it rejected off of previously. We'll see. Alex, what nice to see. How cool, calm, collective you stay. No panic, no stress. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Just imagine, maybe right now I do have some stress going on inside of me, right? But how would that be if I started to be hysterical during the live stream? Oh my God, what it's gonna do? Oh my God, it's gonna take my money. No. That would really be weird. So I think just talking also helps me accept whatever the outcome would be and not overthinking. I'm overthinking what I'm talking about, but I'm not overthinking what I'm seeing on the chart, because I've already made my decision. I've already opened the trade. I've already decided to let it go to TP or take me out of break even. So that's already a decision that I made. So it wouldn't make sense for me right now to just come back and change it, because why? It just wouldn't make sense. Okay. Yeah, just look at it. You see, like, you can always decide to enter on an impulse. Always. Always. Like, oh my God, look, it closed back above that SIBI, this one on the 5 minute. And then look what it did with that candle. And then it's rejecting. And then, but you don't know. That's why you have to wait for candles to close. And that's why you should never, 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 ever, ever enter into a trade as long as price is stuck into a range. Freaking wait for price to break out of that range with momentum on the time frame where you see the range forming. On the first time frame, taken from the smallest towards the highest. On the first time frame where you can't see any sort of fair value gap. Like for example, you guys, and actually, you know what? I'm just giving you like so many tips in here. It's like so many nuggets, golden nuggets. Like, I've marked this consolidation that we're in right now on a 5 minute, okay? Definitely on the 5 minutes, there is no fair value gap inside this price action. So we've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 65 minutes. So more than a 1 hour since price is just consolidating in here, all right? And on the 5 minutes, I can't see any fair value gap. If I go to the 15 minutes, I can't see any fair value gap either. Obviously, I will not be able to see any fair value gap inside this range if I increase time frame. If I go to the 1 minute, I'm going to see a lot of fair value gaps. All right, I'm going to see this bullish one. There's some bullish one in here as well. A bearish one here. A bullish one here. Bullish one here. Bullish one here. Bearish one here. Bullish here. So a lot of fair value gaps. But honestly, if you see that, okay, so we created bullish fair value gap, price goes higher, creates another bullish fair value gap, goes down into it, and then tries to go higher, it can't. Starts to create bearish fair value gap, seems to be respecting them, it doesn't. Creates bullish fair value gap, seems to be respecting them, it is respecting them, but it's not just pushing significantly higher. All right, it just found a floor and it found a ceiling. And you can't really stay on the 1 minute chart where, despite the fact that it has created so many fair value gaps, both ways, both to the upside and to the downside, despite this fact, it's not going anywhere. It's still staying stuck inside that range, just like someone says here in the chat, barcode price action. All right? So when you see that, you're not allowed. You are not allowed to look for an entry on the 1 minute period. Okay? Why? Because so far, the 1 minute FVGs that have formed, they meant nothing. So what makes you think that all of a sudden they're going to start meaning something? No, you have to increase the time frame until you no longer are able to see any fair value gap. Okay? And when you're no longer able to see any fair value gap, and now you can clearly see the range that price is stuck in, that's the time frame where you need to wait for a break out of that consolidation with the fair value gap, whether it's bearish, whether it's bullish. Okay? All right. Wow, almost. No, I think we actually have more than 2 hours since we've started the live stream. Just like I said, slow day because there's no high impact news. Really, really slow day. Very slow day, you guys. But you know what? I still have almost half a cup of coffee, so I'll just continue to stay here with you in the stream and wait for something to happen. But the more time passes, the more, like, as we're getting closer to 12 p.m. New York, it just becomes more obvious that there's just literally no volume whatsoever. It got really dark here, didn't it? It's a little dark, right? Hold on, I'll just be right back. You guys don't leave anywhere, okay? I'll just be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. Okay, so what's going on here? So it finally decided to break upwards, all right? But we still need to see some sort of bullish fair value gap forming here on the 5 minutes in order to consider taking any sort of trade. And we might actually not see it giving us a chance to enter, and that should be fine, okay? That should be completely fine. Because think about it, if it's doing this, if it's breaking out of that consolidation, and it's not giving us a chance to enter, all right? And the chance to enter in my head would be either it's creating a bullish fair value gap and then it never rebalances it, but then it goes up. So it just continues to move higher, all right? Or it just creates the bullish fair value gap, comes down and breaks under it, and then just, oh, you know, it does that. All right, so Both things could happen. And we just need to have a plan. You know, I have a screensaver on my phone, and I've been having this for like 3 weeks, I think. And I usually try, you know, periodically I try to change the screensaver I have on my phone, because I usually put like quotes that are gonna make me think twice before I do something, or think twice before I want to say something that might actually end up, you know, putting me in a bad situation or something like that. Situation or something like that. Guys, sorry. Do we have music? Do we hear music on the live stream? Just let me know in the chat. So I'm not sure if there's any music singing in here. All right, so I, like I said, I try to change the image on my phone, right? The background on my phone. And right now, for the past 3 weeks, I've been having the same thing. It says, "Fuck your mood, follow the plan." And I swear to God, every day when I wake up, I open my eyes and I see, for example, this morning, when I opened my eyes and I saw it was 4:37 a.m. And I said to myself, oh, fuck it, it's too early. I'm just gonna stay for a little longer, you know? That's not something that I want to do, considering that I said to myself every morning, first thing when I open my eyes, if it's earlier than 4 a.m., so it's, I don't know, if it's 3:50, all right, or 3:30 or something like that. If it's earlier than 4 a.m., I'm just gonna go back to sleep, and you know, I'll wake up and I'll wake up. And then I said, but if it's going to be past 4 a.m., and the more it's going to be past 4 a.m. or 4:30 a.m., the quicker should I be in getting myself out of bed, you know? And so this morning when I opened my eyes, I look at the watch and I saw it was 4:37. I said, no, I'm just going to stay for a few more minutes, you know? And I said to myself, I remember this thing that I have on my screensaver on my phone. Fuck your mood, follow the plan. So my plan was, if I opened my eyes and it's past 4 a.m., I'm not going to continue sleeping. All right? That was the plan. The plan was about to be put into action today, this morning, when I woke up after 4 a.m. But my mood was telling me, come on, just stay a little longer in bed, you know. You deserve it. You're tired. And besides this, who wakes up this early? What are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do, literally? You can't trade. You can't do anything. You can't go to the gym. You can't call anyone at this hour because it's too early, right? And then I remembered, fuck your mood, follow the plan. And I just got up. It was 4:38 when I got my ass out of bed. And it's a good thing to do. Just always remember, if you have a plan, follow it no matter what your mood is telling you, or no matter what your mood is. So right now, if I have a trading plan and my mood would say, no, I'm in a mood of, you know, doing something like really right now on impulse. Yeah, my mood tells me you should not wait for a bullish candle to close off of this fair value gap, because what if it's just going to leave without you and you're going to enter too late, or you're going to miss on the opportunity? So what? Fuck my mood, follow the plan. My plan says I'm going to enter a trade only if I have a setup that's going to look in a certain way, and only if the enter candle, it's going to be a closed candle. Like right now, if this current candle is just going to start moving upwards, because it's still almost 2 more minutes until the current M5 candle will close. A lot of stuff can happen within the next 2 minutes. Okay? And if that's going to happen, so be it. If this current candle is just going to woo, and I won't be able to take a long, because I won't take a long if this candle is going to go like that within the next 2 minutes or so, or not even if it's going to be like huge like that. All right? So yeah. Fuck your mood, follow the plan. I should put that in here somewhere. Ha. Yeah. This should stay here no matter what, you guys. It should just stay here no matter what. I wonder, do you guys know how I can actually just lock this over here? Do you guys know how I could do that? So that whenever I move the chart, this writing is just going to stay here like a watermark, but without actually adding a watermark. If you guys know how to do that, you can just tell me in the chat. Anchor. I could anchor it where? It disappeared. Oh my god, it disappeared. Where did it go? Where did it go? I don't know where it went. I don't know where that thing went, guys. I really don't know. I think I removed it, didn't I? Yeah, I removed it. So you can see how, like, how bad I am with the trading view. Anyway. Try a GFX watermark indicator. All right. AGFX watermark. Okay. Use anchor text. Yeah, I try to use anchor text. Oh, this is nice. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I put an enter to this. No, it won't show. Yeah, it's good. I like this. Thank you. Whoever gave me this, thank you. This is a good one. Inner Strength is saying, glad to see you streaming. What took you so long? I don't even know, but I'm glad I'm doing it. So yeah, it's good. Better late than never, right? Better late than never, you guys. You see, we broke out of the consolidation with the BISI, and for now there's just no entry because I'm not seeing my entry trigger appearing. Yeah. "40 seconds until the current 5-minute candle will close." And if this candle is not closing bullish, there's no entry for me yet, so I'll have to wait for another 5 minutes to see if the next 5-minute candle will close bullish. And if it's just gonna, this one, let's say it closes as a pin bar like this, right? And then the next one just shoots up, there's nothing that I can do, all right? Because that's not in my trading plan. It's just not. Not in my trading plan. The way I used to do it before, or not before, but actually, because before what? The way I used to do it sometimes is when I saw that price was just meandering around into a BISI, it was pretty obvious that it was going to reject eventually, but it was not really doing it by forming a bullish candle like I wanted. But I was clearly seeing some wick rejections. Like I would enter as soon as price would break above this high over here, that candle's high over here. But I don't know, I don't feel like doing that right now. I don't know why. I would be totally okay if I'd be taken out at break even with this trade, and if price would shoot up, and I wouldn't enter because I wouldn't have my entry candle here. I would be totally fine with that. Yeah. Are you still doing purge and revert? You could call it like that. Yeah, you could call it like that. But on a much more, not complicated, not complex level, but more like with a deeper understanding. Yes, Francis, I'm still in the short position. I'm still. But my stop loss, it's locked at break even. All right. How about we inverse this? Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. We'll see, you guys. We will see. I think waiting for candles to close is the most powerful yet underrated hack that a trader can do. Whenever you want to enter a trade, just wait for, if you're not convinced, just wait for one more candle to close. This is the most powerful yet most underrated thing that you could do as a trader. Definitely. And I think it's the thing that if I were to count the things that have kept me out of losses most of the times would be exactly this. Wait for a candle to close. Wait for one more candle. When you're not convinced, wait for one more candle to close. And if you're not convinced with that candle either, just wait for one more. And if you're not yet convinced, wait for one more, and so on and so forth. But, you know, like I said previously, the more we're getting closer to 12 p.m. noon, like 12 p.m. noon, 12 p.m. New York, the more it becomes clear to me that there's just lack of momentum, and it doesn't make sense to keep on trading after, not even after 11:30 a.m., you know, and we're already like 15 minutes past that. Because technically speaking, the New York kill zone for Forex market is done, ended, you know. So like I said, I'm gonna wait until I finish the coffee. I think I have 1 or 2 more sips of it. Then I think it's safe for us to close the live stream, unless we're gonna get an entry right now. You see, these are the times when I wouldn't know exactly what to do, depending on how this candle closes. All right, so technically speaking, we'd be having a long confirmation right now. All right. We'd be having a long confirmation right now. And I'm actually going to take this alongside with my short trade, which is locked at break even. All right. Stop loss, 3029.78. All right, so right now I'm hedging, okay? I'm still in that short, and I took half my normal lot size, or half my normal risk on this long trade over here. After lunch is some of the best times of day to trade second shift, LOL. Yeah, after lunch, not during lunch. After, like after 1 or 2 p.m. New York. I agree, but not at lunchtime. When do you stop from taking entries? If I am not mistaken, ICT says it is better taking trades inside the kill zones. That's correct. I just stop taking entries when I've reached my loss, or my loss limit for the day, or my target limit for, or you know, my target for the day, my profit target for the day. So far, none of that happened. Now think about it. If we spent like, how much time? 15 minutes? 1, 2, 3. All right, so 15 minutes spent inside this BISI. All right, and price already showed a willingness to reject this candle, you know, the previously closed candle. Now, if that candle, if price will travel under that candle, I don't want to be in the trade. All right, because it's already showed me rebalancing, 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 reject. So I don't want the rejection to be invalidated, because then it doesn't make sense. Of course, it could come down. You know, you're going to say, well, Alex, you should have waited for it to touch this bullish fair value gap. Maybe, but that's not my plan. And maybe it's going to do that and then shoot up, and it's going to take me out and then shoot up. Fine. I would be fine with that. As long as I'm following the plan that I have, that's totally okay with me. Okay, so with my long trade, I actually got filled at 30.32.10. Let's just make it reflect 30.32.10. Sort of like here, whatever. Kind of like here, all right? That's where I got filled. But technically 2R would be just a little higher. The good part of this is that if the long trade will be invalidated and take me out, there are bigger chances for price to actually continue to push lower. Which means that whatever loss I'm going to incur off of this, it's going to be offset by whatever profit I'm going to have off of the short. All right. There's also the other option where obviously price will just take me out and then move up and take out this one at break even, and then I'm only going to be left with the loss from this, which was actually already offset by me taking half of the profit on the short trade. So the worst thing that could happen to my trades today is that I'm going to end up the day at break even. At this point, that's the worst thing that can happen. So maybe you can understand why I'm being this chill. I'm starting to think that not losing money is a lot more important than making money. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? I would really love to know what your take on this is. And the reason is the following, especially if you are at the beginning stages of your trading career or of your trading journey and you're not profitable. If you're mostly a losing trader, I mean, you can't be mostly a losing trader. You're a losing trader or you're a winning trader. That's that, right? So if you're still at the point where you're bleeding money or losing money, I think instead of focusing on starting to make money, you should actually focus on not losing money anymore. So to you, as a losing trader, it should be your goal to become a break-even trader. Okay? If you can push from being a losing trader to being a break-even trader, that's a win in itself. You're already doing better than most traders out there. And most importantly, you're doing better than you were doing previously. Okay? Someone says here, you're trading. Yeah, trading is like how to not lose money. Exactly. Exactly. Exactly, you guys. When you are just starting out, or when you are still losing, focus more on how to stop losing money. And then when you get that figured out, and you can see that you're doing that on a consistent basis, you can then switch to the next level of your trading journey, career, whatever, which is start making money. So you go from losing trader into being a break-even trader into being a moneymaker. All right? From losing to being break-even, that's an advancement in itself. And then from being break-even to starting making money, obviously that's an advancement in itself. But you cannot expect to jump directly from losing money to making money. Because your problem is not the fact that you're losing money. Your problem is that you're focusing on making money without actually having the skills, the understanding, the funds that would meet your expectations or that would match your expectations. All right, so yeah, definitely. I wish someone would have told me this some time ago. I really wish they would. I'm still in trade, by the way, the long. It didn't take me out. Are you a gold trader? Then I know you have experience. Yes, I'm exclusively trading only gold. Gold is the most intensive chart of them all. Yeah. Try scalping or intraday before swing. Wasted my life swinging too much in the beginning. LOL. I'm not sure what to say. I think scalping has its benefits, but I think it's definitely scalping. It's definitely not for the people who are not in control of their actions and in control of their emotions. Because if you're scalping, you're going to be blinded by the opportunity to make money fast. And you're going to forget about the risk that just as you can make money fast, you can also lose money fast. And you're going to be blinded by that. And you're going to totally forget the fact that you can lose a lot of money fast if you're scalping. So my opinion is just try to find a midpoint in between swing trading and scalping. And obviously, most important is to do this on demo, all right? Because if you want to start with live funds and you're thinking, well, I'll start with a small capital without me having ever placed a trade, but I'm just going to start with $100 and I'm just going to scalp and I'm just going to focus on making $5-10 a day. And within the next 1 year, I'll just make $200,000 because I'm only focusing on making $5-10 a day. And that's very simple, very easy to do. It won't work. All right. First, because I don't think you should be trading if you don't have experience at all, if you have never been exposed to the emotions that you are going to feel when you're risking money and when you're winning money. Okay? So first you have to expose yourself to that. And you have to do it. You know, a demo will never give you the emotions because it's just demo money. But you just have to force yourself to feel the emotions during a demo environment. Like during demo, your excitement should not come from winning a paper trade. Your excitement should come from having found the knowledge and the understanding that made you win that paper trade. Okay? The outcome of a paper trade should not be the reason for your excitement during your demo trading. The reason for your excitement should be the fact that you've applied a trading plan that seems to work. All right? It doesn't matter. It's just demo. Period. It doesn't matter. It's just demo. After you can do that consistently, after you can prove to yourself, after you have a proven set of rules that worked in demo, you can then start to apply it in live markets with live money, small money, like small amounts of money. And then on top of you having found a set of rules that has proven to work, now on top of that confidence, you're bringing the, let's say, downside of exposing yourself to the emotions of trading real money. All right? But now you have this downside of exposing yourself to emotions, okay? But at the same time, that can actually be offset by the confidence that you bring because you have a set of rules that more often than not, it seems to be working. Okay, and you've journaled and you've really followed the same trading plan for, 2-3 months, and you were able to prove to yourself through repetition and through consistently trading the same, the same strategy. You were able to prove to yourself that, and of course through journaling, you were able to prove to yourself that you did find a set of rules that is worth being followed, and that more often than not, it's going to prove itself to be successful. All right. So that can actually help you offset those emotions that you're going to start feeling when you expose yourself to live markets with live money. And this is extremely important in my opinion. Now, at the same time, you just have to understand that trading is a probabilities game. Okay. And just as there's a probability for your trade to work in your favor, there's also the probability of the trade not working in your favor. And so with every trade that you take, you need to be aware of the fact that there is also some risk attached to it. And you need to make sure that you're not bringing too much unnecessary emotion in your trading, your live trading, by opening trades where you're risking too much money. Whatever too much money means for you, okay? Too much money could mean $5 if you're someone living in Indonesia and you know that with $5 you would get the groceries for a whole week for your entire family. To someone else living in Miami, too much money could be, anything that goes above their monthly rent, which let's say in Miami, it's an average $5,000. All right. So you just have to understand that too much money or an amount of money that's too big or too small, it's really relative to each person. Really, really relative to each person. And you just have to find that amount which is relevant to you. Yeah. The key thing I found in my trading journey, knowing when to size up and when not to, depending on what you see and the probability of it. Yeah. So I don't do demo because my order isn't actually in the system, so I don't get my drawdown share. That's just my opinion. Well, that's the thing. In demo, you're not focusing on winning trades. In demo, so if you're not focusing on winning trades, what does it make sense that your trade is not in the actual system so that you get your drawdown or not or whatever? It makes no sense. In demo, your focus should be on perfecting your skills. All right? That's where you should focus on. Your skills mean your consistency of following the same trading plan, your consistency of following the same risk management plan, same trade management plan, your consistency in trading the same pair during the same session every day. That's where you should focus on. During demo, you build your habits. Your habits. Okay? Your habits. You're not getting used to drawdown or anything like that during demo. Because even if your demo trade would go to the market, it would only be demo money, and you would see relative drawdown or slippage or commissions or spreads. They mean nothing. They mean nothing, really. You need to work on your skills. All right, so that's where your focus should be whenever you're trading a demo account. Is there any possibility of closing the short position in profit? If so, what will be the reason? Francis, if you don't feel at ease with still being in your short trade, and if you are in a slight profit, lock the trade at break even. Okay? At this point, you have two fears. The first fear is that, what if it goes up? I'm in a short trade, it goes up, and what if it takes my stop loss? This is your first fear. All right, you have to figure out how big this worst case scenario is in terms of monetary loss for you and in terms of how you will feel mentally that loss. All right, how intense you're going to feel it. Your second fear is, what if I put the stop loss of this short trade, which is at minor profit right now, what if I put it at break even? It takes me out at break even and then it shoots down. And I'm going to miss out on the opportunity just because I've moved my stop loss at break even. So you have two things in here which have two possible outcomes. Outcome number one, you leave the stop loss where it is, price goes up, takes your stop loss out, you lose money. Okay, let's say 1% from your account. Second option, with the second outcome, is you move stop loss at break even, price takes you out and it goes down. And you're not in the trade. You got out at break even. All right? In the second scenario, you're not winning money, that's right, but you're not losing either. So out of these two scenarios, the one where you win more, it's actually the second scenario. And like I said, if you don't feel at ease with you being in the short trade and you're in slight profit, move your stop loss at break even. All right, just move it. So you're saying facing drawdown is not a thing to simulate and be fully trained on? No, I'm not saying that facing drawdown is not a thing to simulate and be fully trained on. I'm just saying that even if you're on a drawdown, but you don't know why you're on a drawdown because you're not focusing on your skills and you don't know exactly what you did wrong, or not necessarily what you did wrong, but what you could have done better to not be in a drawdown, then you're not simulating you becoming strong in face of drawdown periods. You're not simulating that. All right? I know you're talking demo versus real simulation. I know. And by the way, real simulation, I'm not really sure what that means, because like simulating in a real market, you can't do that unless you're just putting in some money, and you're just putting in a very small amount of money that doesn't really matter to you. And if that's the case, then you shouldn't be bothered by the drawdown, right? Monetary wise, in terms of money, the drawdown shouldn't bother you. Yeah. I'm still in both trades. It's just not moving anywhere. And I think that I'm just gonna have one, maybe two more sips of coffee, and then I'm gonna be done. I'm in a minor profit if I were to consider both trades, right? Because the short is in profit and the long is in minor loss, like very small loss. But these two together, I'm in slight profit. So I don't know, I probably am going to give it another 5 to 7 minutes, and then we're going to be done with the live stream. And it is what it is. Why do I think it's not moving? Well, it's lunchtime, so normally no volumes usually at this hour. Second, today was a day during which we didn't have any high impact news. And like I said at the beginning of the stream, probably the market is just going to move out of inertia. And if there's no one during volatility hours, like everyone's out for lunch, banks, whatever, hedge funds, I just don't think we're going to see anything within the next, I don't know, half an hour or so. Or I might be wrong, who knows? Maybe right now the needle starts to move. I don't know. Yeah, Mike also says tomorrow is FOMC, definitely. That could also be one of the reasons. Trump and Putin are having a phone call. Yeah, that's a good one. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. What's my favorite time frame? 5 minutes. 5 minutes for entries, trade management. Yeah, definitely 5 minutes. This is where I thrive with this strategy, the SMT plus FEG. I was thinking about, after I end this live stream, just watching a movie. Do you guys have any recommendations? Like a good, I don't want it to be it just has to be a movie, 1 hour and a half, maximum 5 hours, maximum 2 hours. A movie that's either a good comedy, like a good, smart comedy, or like a good psychological movie, If you guys have any recommendations, please send them over. Okay, so my stop loss for the short is at 33.50. 33.50. Right here. All right, this is where my stop loss is for the short. Right here. And I haven't been tagged out yet, just so you know. Weird. so weird. So are you guys learning something from this live stream? Please send me recommendations of Netflix movies, either good smart comedies or like, you know, good psychological movies that I can actually learn from. If you guys have any recommendations, I would really appreciate it. Sending them my way. You can write them in the chat. Yes, this is silver to the right side. Someone's asking in the chat. Tenet by Christopher Nolan. I've seen Tenet. It's a great movie. I've seen it. I can attest that's a great movie. The Fountain is also a great movie. I don't know if I saw that. Oh, Smile. I think, oh my God. I just get goosebumps when I think about that. I think it's like a mini series, right? It's not actually a movie, Smile. I tried watching that thing and I just couldn't. Ugh. Oh my God. I just get like goosebumps. No. I don't think I will ever watch that. I don't know why. It's just frightening in a way, in a sense. It's really weird. Like, okay, I'm out with the short. All right, just so you know, guys. So the short is out at break even. And we're seeing the long just thriving. And now I'm curious. And I have a question. Francis, you asked me a little earlier, is there any possibility of closing the short position in profit? And if so, what will be the reason? So Francis, did you close, or no, did you put your short trade at break even? I'm really curious if you did that. You can go ahead and answer me in the chat. What if it's gonna start rejecting from the SIBI that formed at 955? Because technically speaking, this is an SMT. Did you guys know that there is a type of SMT? I forgot exactly how it's called. Like internal SMT, I think, where we're not focusing at highs versus lows, which is external SMT, but we're focusing on, for example, one of the pairs having reached a like a PD array that the other pair didn't reach into. So this is the SIBI that gold reached into, and this is the SIBI, which is at the same hour, 9:55, that silver did not reach into yet. So technically speaking, this is considered to be like an inside like this, right? The fact that gold did reach into the SIBI and silver did not. It's considered as an inside SMT. What's inside on a Netflix? Okay, I'm just gonna screenshot this. What's inside? All right. Do you stream daily? Yeah, but not really. For example, Friday I didn't stream. I was intending to stream yesterday, but yesterday I didn't stream either. But I do my best to stream every day, but it's going to be at least 3 weekly streams. Okay, that's a fact. That's a fact. At least 3 weekly streams. All right, so if silver will also reach into that SIBI, then that's not going to be like an inside, SMT anymore, you know. Obviously. I do also think gold is mega bullish. I wouldn't just enter it there from my perspective. S&P is bearish. We got a strong sell biased weekly traders just in the reaction zone. The money outflows from there to the risk off gold. Yeah, definitely it could be. We're not selling just because, like, you guys, if you've been watching my content, whether you've been doing that here on YouTube, not necessarily during the live streams, because if you've only come across my content through these live streams, then it means that you've only known me for like a week or so, maybe 2 weeks. But if you've watched my previous YouTube videos, or if you've watched any of my YouTube content, not YouTube, Instagram content, then you know that I never trade just because price reached in an area. I never open a trade just because price reached in a fair value gap. I never open a trade just because price took out a high or a low. I never do that, all right? To me, price being in a PD array, whether that's a breaker, order block, fair value gap, inversion, fair value gap, high, low, whatever, all right? It means nothing to me if I do not see a reaction on the lower time frames. So price being at a level, to me, means nothing. Okay? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing whatsoever. If I don't see a reaction from there. What settings is your green EMA? I don't have any green EMA. Oh my God. No, that's not an EMA. All right. So I was trying to figure out. No, this is not an EMA. Okay. These are like trend lines that I draw to highlight the SMT divergences. I took partial on the sell earlier and swapped to buys AMTP to 3044, 3050 levels. This is what someone in the chat said. Very good. Pretty much what I did. Obviously, at this point, it would not make sense for me to, to take profit at 2R, since there's a, buy side liquidity, a liquidity area just a little higher over here, right? Here or here. All right, so we'll just see. If I can get at least 2R, I'm glad. I'll consider this trade as a winning trade. And if I'm just going to leave it, go for more. If it gives me 2R, then I'm thinking might actually have the potential to go for more, but we'll see. Just imagine how it would be if it would start rejecting from here. Imagine how that would be. Shitty. Anyway, what are your favorite concepts SMT plus FVG. All setups should always look the same exactly. I was a little bit confused keeping the short while entering the long. This is Francis. Why? Hedging is the best way if you have good entries. Like if you can short higher and you can go long lower and have a distance in between the two, hedging is actually a good way of making sure that you're limiting the amount of money that you're ultimately going to lose if the shit hits the fan. Someone's asking if the 4-hour candle turns bullish. I'm thinking we're going to get speed to the upside. Yeah, we might, but it flipped bullish already since like 20 pips ago, 20 points ago. I mean, this is how the 4-hour candle looks like, all right? It's been bullish for quite some time, see? Right now, with this whole time zone difference thing, it's a little weird. It might seem a little weird for some of you guys, depending on your broker. You know, it might be weird. Because if you're using a broker in MT4 or MT5, a broker that's using, for example, the Eastern Europe Standard Time, which we're still on here in Europe. We haven't switched to daylight savings time yet, but the US did do that. Like there might be differences that are not going to make sense, and that can actually make the 4-hour chart to look a little bit different. Because to some of you, the 4-hour chart might actually open 1 hour earlier or later than other brokers. And it's just, the chart is going to look off. It's just going to look weird. But yeah, just so you know. Oh, MacDonald Oh, MacDonald had a farm. E-I-E-I-O. All right, silver reached here, and this seems to be, you know, it doesn't seem to matter anymore, this SIBI on gold. Now, I want you to take a look, go back to the 1 minute, you guys, and just please let me just remove some of these drawings. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to remove any of the drawings here on the 1 minute. I want you to go back to the 1 minute and take a look at the 10-10 1 minute bearish fair value gap. All right. And remember what I said, that our point was the most important fair value gap. And if that failed to remain as a valid resistance, then we would actually see price moving higher. And then what happened? What happened then? This gray area over here, all right, this one, here it is. That's the 1 minute SIBI, right, at 10-10. Inside the same area, we had this 5 minute SIBI, which is marked by these two red lines, all right? And then that was the range that we were waiting for price to break out of. And then we did that with creating this bullish fair value gap. So basically we have the 1 minute 10-10 SIBI, which was respected, and then it went lower. And then we had the 5 minute SIBI, which is this one on the 10-10 candle, duh. And that, you know, served as a accumulation area, and then we break out of it with a BISI and then respect it, rebalance it, respect it, and then move higher. All right. So just like I said, it's really important to mark and pay attention. Keep an eye on those PD arrays that price reacted off of, and then price from reacting off of those PD arrays, it went to a key level, or it went into creating an SMT. All right. And then you see that previously respecting PD array being invalidated. Okay. With a fair value gap of, bullish, like a bearish fair value gap would only be invalidated by a bullish fair value gap, in my opinion. All right. So if my PD array was a bearish fair value gap and price went up into that, rebalanced, went down into a key level, or into creating an SMT that indicates bullishness, which is exactly what it did in here. That one in here. All right. And then on silver, we have that low and this one, right? So gold creating higher high, finding support into the 1 hour busy. At the same time, invalidating the 10-10, 1 minute, and 5 minute CB, which seemed to be respected previously, but not really. All right. And then silver went down and now started to move up. Okay. So it's just the same concepts over and over and over and over and over again, you guys. NASDAQ and the others have slightly longer fractals, so it's 8 hours and 12 hours, as opposed to gold, the getaway is always the 4 hour. I don't know what exactly you mean by that, but if it works for you, well done. Keep doing that. What would be your trading choice if it is not gold? Wow. That's a hard question. I never thought about that. Yeah, I never thought about that. If I wouldn't trade gold, what else would I be trading? Probably I'd focus on futures, probably. Yeah, probably. Because I can't think of a Forex pair that is as technical, as unstructured, consistent, and volatile as gold is. I just don't know. So I'd probably not be trading Forex anymore. Maybe just to stay in the realm of commodities, maybe I would trade oil. Maybe. I'm not sure. What do you think SMT stands for? I don't care what as an acronym it stands for. Some people say smart money tool. Some people say smart money time. I don't care what it stands for as an acronym, really. It's like asking me, hey Alex, why do you think your name is Alex? I don't care. My name's Alex, so that's that. Okay, what helps me know why my parents decided to name me Alex, But what I do care is how to use this thing called SMT. That's what I'm interested in. So yeah. Just a little bit more and we're gonna hit take profit. And then maybe it's just gonna shoot higher. Who knows? And just smash through those levels. Boom. Boom. Smash it. Smash it. Come on. Come on. Oh my God. How many trades do you take? Why not NQ? I never traded futures. I took today 2 trades. I took this short, took partial around here, half, and then the other half I've secured stop loss at break even, took me out. And as it was taking me out at break even, I was in profit for this long trade. I took a loss at IFVG after the first dump. I'm sorry to hear that. Gold is a metal, by the way. Yeah, it's a metal, it's a commodity, yeah. In structured terms, the breakout always happens on the 4 hour. Okay, what do you think about lock 30x scalping strategies are profitable? I never heard of that. But you can't, like, if I would tell you right now, oh yeah, I heard about that strategy and it's super profitable, you should really go into that. Why on earth would you believe me? The fact that something's profitable for me doesn't mean that it will be profitable for you as well. All right? It doesn't mean that. I took partial. Rainy suns. Rainy suns. That's weird. I took partial. Don't worry. I took 90%. Running at 10% runner right now. And my stop loss is at break even for my 10% runner. I don't know what lock 30x scalping is. Okay, people talking here in the chat that if that's illegal, I have no idea what it is. All right, you guys. So honestly, if you can think of a reason why I would still continue to be in this live stream, you can go ahead and let me know in the chat, but I can't. I ran out of coffee. I only have a 10% runner on this long trade, which is locked at break even. Any reason for me to keep being in this trade, in this live stream? I don't know. So yeah, you guys aren't saying anything. So I guess that's that. Thank you so much, guys, for being here in this stream. If you're new to the stream and you haven't got a chance to hit the thumbs up button, please go ahead and do that. It would really help the channel to show up this type of content to other people who might find it interesting and who might be struggling. So yeah, thank you again for being here, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.